So Tatiana, do you want to talk about your winning piece called My Father?
Up to you. I can say it how it happened. Just my lovely teacher, Charlotte Fahey, she offered me to do that, and I decided that I unfortunately about um, 9 years ago I lost my father, and I decided to write about his childhood because it was not good time for him, for our country. Just I did it, and my teacher helped me in that.
Well, thank you for submitting it.
Mhm.
So is writing about is writing memoirs something that you do a lot?
Yeah, because you understand that my English is not good, and but I did it with my soul, and with my love to my father.
You can feel that in the piece. You can really feel your feelings for your father in the piece. And I look forward to everybody getting a chance to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you,
And
thank you.
your English is way better than any other language that I've tried to learn. So you're really doing
Thank you.
well.
And excuse me, thank you very much to my teacher Charlotte. I am very appreciate to her if she listen us now. I'm very appreciated. I'm very thankful to her.
Anne Fu, who I'm going to unmute now, was also tied for first place with a piece called My Childhood. So, Anne, are you still with us?
Yes. Can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Do you want to try the screen? Do you want to try sharing your screen, or you just want to be
No,
voice only?
no, I don't. I am free to touch anything right now.
All right.
At least I can hear your voice.
Okay, I understand that. So, congratulations. So, do you want to
Thank
say
you.
anything about your winning piece, My Childhood?
Yes, it's kind of because I retired several years ago. Then I started to kind of review my life and review my childhood memory. Then unfortunately get to know the Nancy at the library. So I started writing. So the childhood memories, the place I grew up, and it's just so many good, fun memories and over there. And since the time changed a lot, the thing I try to memory in my mind is not exist anymore. That's why I feel kind of a little bit sad, but it's good.
Hmm. Do you write a lot?
I try to write a lot, but since it's not the native language, I have struggled in some grammar like the past tense, the current tense, and use the preposition. And but you're getting there. Especially my teacher Nancy is just so grateful and tremendous patient and encouragement. So I writing and she correct for me. And from this kind of practicing, I think this is the only way you can get proficient.
Yeah, yeah, right. We know writing is something that improves your language use,
Yes,
particularly if you do a lot of it.
yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Did you do writing at home too?
Yeah, writing at home, you mean in my native language?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Mhm.
Good.
But it's kind of hard because I stay here for quite a while, and you try to you try to find a group where you can correct each other or discuss each other. It's not easy. So I think through the discussion and through the reading, you can prove a lot.
Right. So,
Mm.
and writing is something, even though people think it's an individual, it's actually a social thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, again, I congratulations, and I look forward
Thank you.
to everybody getting a chance to read it.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Congratulations on getting third place in the memoir. Do you want to talk?
Oh, thank you.
You want to let people know about your piece?
Oh, yes, I'm very excited about my piece. My piece is called Change, and what it is, I'm in my late 50s now, and I was looking back on my life, and I was just so excited when I look back on my life and see how happy I am today, and I realized that all the things from the beginning to when I'm my age right now. Everything I've experienced has helped me to get to this point, and just how special all the things that I thought were not so good back then, how good they are, and has helped me to be the person that I am today.
So writing is really a way of kind of rethinking kind of your experiences and your perspective.
It has helped me to look at my perspective. It has helped me to measure things. It has helped me to develop a sense of feeling that I probably didn't have, because in my professional life, uh, I I had a job that required that I didn't put feelings into it in terms of getting emotional attached. And through writing, I've found my emotions.
That's great. That's great to hear. So I look forward to sharing your work with everybody.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much. Me too. And if I could just thank Jessica Myers, who is our facilitator at the Plainfield Senior Citizen Center, where a lot of my writing comes through.
Yes, the senior center is like the running champions here. I think for the past 3 years, at least one person from the senior center has gotten an award in the memoir category. So well done to Jessica and her crew at the Plainfield Senior Center, and we look forward to sharing your stories.
Thank you so much.
Yes, take care, Pat. So the next category is nonfiction. And so speaking of odd situations, so here we have one first place winner and then 4 ties for second place. This is the 6th year that we've been doing this, and this has never happened before. So it feels like an embarrassment of riches.
This was an essay, the final essay for my honors composition 1 course. My professor at the time, Stephanie Natal, she'd recommended to me and actually informed me of the NJALL Writers Contest, and at her recommendation, we retook another look at the piece overall. She really enjoyed it, and it was actually recognized at the Writers Colloquium at the Atlantic Cape Community College, where I attend.
Great.
So we brought it back out, we reviewed it, and I decided to submit it after a little bit of rehashing there. And yeah, the topic was, at the time, it was for a group project, and our group decided to focus on the sort of importance of music and sound and storytelling. The main subject of the honors course overall was Hamilton the musical, so there had to be some loose connection there, of which we decided to just talk about how important and integral sound and music is. I decided for my individual paper to touch upon one of my favorite video game series, which was the Dark Souls series, or Soul series, by developer From Software and Hidetaka Miyazaki. And that was what came about.
Great. Right. So I think what people liked in the piece is that when we think of video games, I think we often think of the action, right? Or the, the bosses or things like that. But you are actually calling attention to how music and the sound really creates the feeling of the game, creates the feeling of the world, right? So I think it was an interesting topic.
I think, and I totally agree, it's because we don't really pay too much mind to how much of effect that music or just sound overall has on media in general, and it can radically change how something is in its presentation, the atmosphere of it, and overall how you view whatever it is you're interacting with. It's incredibly important in all forms, and and in the day when you're writing and the such, it helps to have something to listen to in the background.
Okay. It looks like you're also in a gamer chair with some gamer headphones too. So
yeah,
personal experience, yes.
Got a lot of stuff set up and about, yeah.
Great. All right, and also congrats on the photo, which I'm going to be sharing in a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
All right, thank you for joining us today.
And a big thank you to my professor, Stephanie Natal, for the opportunity and the recommendation. I'm not sure if she was in attendance, but in either case, I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Al. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so do you want to say anything about your piece and your writing process?
Okay, the piece that I have chose was Pressing On, and it's basically about adult place, adult bullying, you know, so it was about workplace bullying. And it was something personal that I chose to write about and speak about. I'm normally the type of person whereas I just hold things in. I don't really talk about, you know, anything personal that's going on in my life. So it it was just something that I just wanted to just let it out, because you know you never really, when you're an adult, you feel like, you know, these things are you're done with that part of your life.
Hmm.
And once you get into, you know, you're an adult, you know, you don't think that it's going to happen to you when you're an adult, and especially when you're working. So that was some really tough times for me that I never really got a chance to like talk about and, you know, just get it out and let it out. And being at the JVS, you know, it when I was asked to, you know, to be asked to write about something and I couldn't figure out, like, I don't know what I want to write about. I don't, and I said, you know, why don't I just do something, you know, personal, something, you know, saying that's, you know, deep inside me. And I'm just very honored to be able to, you know, talk to you guys, you know, about it. I just want everybody to just, you know, listen. It doesn't stop when you're an adult. It
Right.
continues. You know, you just have to learn how to overcome it, overcome being, you know, bullying, and try to, you know, figure out ways to, you know, move on and do other things outside, you know, work and in your job, you know. So I'm very honored, you know, to talk about it and speak about it.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing about that topic. I think you're right that once we become grown-ups, we're expected to just have like, a tough skin and, kind of like let it, go past us, but it hurts, right? It can be very painful.
It's very,
Yeah, so it's something I think that we need to take more seriously. So I think it'll be really helpful for people to read your piece. So thanks for sharing it.
thank you. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, I would like to thank the NJALL for granting me this life-changing opportunity. One day it existed only as a far-fetched dream. And of course, to my teacher, Miss Ellen, who has always been my inspiration as an educator, and for giving me the courage to show the world the fire within me. This piece is I hold this piece very close to my heart. It's, although it's fiction, it's inspired by true events and pieces of my life, my mother's, my best friend's, all pieces of a puzzle intertwined into one story, which brought me here today. In many ways, I was writing secrets to the world, unbeknownst to them. Writing is my greatest pride and privilege. I love that I can tell my story without giving it a face. Writing gives me the courage I didn't know I had. And I'm really just a girl from the hood with big dreams, the rose that grew from concrete, also known as the underdog. And this piece, one day my teacher gave us a class assignment, and I didn't really think much of it. Before I knew, I was like touching very deep into my past, telling pieces of, excuse me, just touching into very deep memories I didn't know I still remembered. And it was really, it really helped me let go of a lot of things. And I remember reading it to my class. It was a very beautiful thing for me because I was able to let go of so many secrets in a story, and no one really knew that it was about me. And I remember my class asking me if the story was about me, and I said, no, of course not. But that was the beauty of it, of just sharing an experience. And I'm so grateful for my teacher and for my class and for this program. I didn't think that at this point in my life I would be sitting here writing, or even here in this webinar. Many years ago, I had a dream to just write and write and write as much as I could. And somewhere along the way, I just stopped. I kind of stopped believing in myself. And it's one of the biggest reasons why I'm so grateful for my teacher, Miss Ellen. She's always helped me silence my inner critic with her encouraging voice. And And of course, thank you to New Jersey All for giving me this gift, this moment.
Well,
And it was best that the camera was off.
well, maybe it worked out for the best. So, but thank you so much
Yeah,
for sharing the piece, and I think also share for demonstrating the power of fiction, right? So that
right.
fiction can do lots of different things, including help us communicate things about ourselves in ways that feel safer or feel a little bit more under our control. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm looking forward for everybody to read your piece, and then send it. I'm not sure if you have yet, but if you haven't, send in a photo for the magazine so then people can see you in the magazine.
Yes, I have, and I hope that everyone remembers my voice when they're reading my piece, because it really comes from the heart, and I can't wait to read everyone else's work.
Yes, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, take care. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything about your story?
Just a simple thing. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rose. I came from China and I have been in the United States for 9 years. I am a teacher to teach Mandarin in a Chinese school and also an ESL student in writing in English. My teacher is Nancy. She is a great teacher and she teaches me a lot. And the story choices is about a Chinese girl's life and how her life changes over time. Today, I'm so happy to be awarded the second place in the fiction category. Thanks the NJALL for giving me this honor. Thanks my teacher Nancy. Thanks my family to support me. I hope more people will get awarded next year. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
And certainly, I hope people listen to Rose's call. The more submissions we have, the better. Our next category is poetry. This, along with memoir, this is the category that usually has the most submissions. First place this year went to Karina Gonzalez for her poem To Lynetta. Second place went to Janice Rodriguez for Breakup. And third place went to Georgina Alzaga for Knitting. And last but not least is our photography category. As mentioned earlier, Alex won for a piece called Untitled. Georgina also won in this category for a piece called Colorful Sky. And Srija Muralidrahan Srilaja, again, I apologize for my pronunciation, won also second place for Made for Each Other. So I'd like you to show you those pieces now. Here is Untitled, or House of the Sun. Two by Georgina is called Colorful Sky. And piece number 3 by Srija is called Made for Each Other.
I'm here.
I'm not sure what happened. This happens sometimes, but do you want to talk about your piece?
Yeah, I just want to say that my name is Georgina Ramirez. I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. And I want to say I am so really happy. And thank you to my family. Thank you, God. Thank you, Literacy New Jersey, especially Catherine, Joe, and my teacher, Ruth Rushi. And thank you, New Jersey All, for this huge opportunity to express my feelings and my thoughts. And my best rewards is when the people like the things that I do with love. Just say that.
Yes. Well, thank you for participating in a few years in a row. And then also thank you for submitting in multiple categories.
Yeah, I love it. I love, right? Sometimes when I was sitting in front of my computer and I was listening music and I hear different words and just came to my mind and just put in a piece of paper and just try to write more and more and say, this is an inspiration. I don't know what happened, but I am really grateful with all of us.
Okay. I've put your photo up on the screen. Do you want to say anything about the photo?
Yeah, I can believe that I took the one day in a highway with my cell phone because I really like take photos everywhere. But I just want my cell phone, and yeah, it doesn't matter. So I just took that, and it's beautiful.
Where is that?
Oh, this is a way to near Pennington in the highway. I think it's Route 295 or something like that.
I'm glad to see that in the photo you pulled over.
Thank you so much.
You're modeling, even if you're an artist driven by your vision, you were still thinking about safety first and pulled over before you just...
Yeah, exactly. I just stopped my car, and after that, I just took the picture and said, "Oh my God, this is amazing! This sky is beautiful, and I need to take this photo. I need to have this imagine for me all
Yeah.
the time."
Yeah, it's a great image. It's a great image.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Sorry it didn't work out before, but thanks for speaking to us.
Okay, thank you for having me with you.
Bye-bye. Take care. One more statement about writing before I turn it over to the award winners, the annual award winners, is hopefully most of you have gotten the announcement that we've created a separate web page that's inviting adult learners to share their writing about living in the time of COVID-19. We've got more than a dozen pieces here. So I want to thank all the learner writers who have contributed pieces. Some of them are memoirs, some of them are poems, some of them are nonfiction pieces. It's a really nice, diverse array of writing. I encourage teachers and tutors and mentors to use it with students as a way to kind of work on the skills that you've identified that you want to work on with them, and certainly encourage them to submit them as well. On the screen, you can see that that's the address to go to. I'll also send that out when I send out the follow-up announcement. It's on our main website as well. And if your students want to submit pieces, they can submit it to the regular NJALL Gmail account. All right. So I want to thank all of the writer winners for making time in their days to join us on this webinar. I want to congratulate them again for winning, and congratulate their teachers and their tutors for them winning. And really thank all the writers for contributing to the contest year after year after year. Okay.
Hi, my name is Connie Schwein. I'm a member of the New Jersey Association for Lifelong Learning Board and am the head of the awards committee. And it's always a pleasure to send out nomination forms to the adult education community in hopes that program directors and lead teachers and agencies will make nominations. We have two categories, and one of them is Teacher of the Year, and the other is Lifelong Learning Leadership Award. And I'll talk about Teacher of the Year first. It's quite an honor to be chosen as the New Jersey Teacher of the Year in adult education, and this year is especially noteworthy because Somerset Literacy Volunteers of Somerset County, directed by Amy Lamb, was forward-thinking enough in 2016 to look at their volunteer tutors who were frustrated because they didn't feel that they had a curriculum for beginning ESL learners who wanted very badly to speak English and to use it in their everyday lives. And so the literacy affiliate looked around and fortunately found Susan Pristis, who volunteered to help develop a pilot program. Susan was an experienced classroom teacher, having taught ESL, German, and Spanish. And you can imagine that a volunteer literacy program can't afford to hire someone with that kind of experience. So they were especially blessed that Susan volunteered to create a tutor training model for beginning introductory level English skills students and to train tutors in that model, and then to work with the affiliate program at Literacy Volunteers of Somerset County on a weekly basis to make sure that the things that were being taught and learned were appropriate for the students. So Susan has continued to do that. She's trained additional classes of tutors. She also chooses students who, because of their attention, their willingness to work, their focus, and their overall attitude, are chosen to work with volunteer tutors in small groups. So she's really created a model that other programs want to follow. And that began in 2016, and it's continuing, was to have had a class begin in March of this year. And we'll find out from Susan if that really happened or if all those plans are waiting for the big reopening of all our lives. So it is a pleasure to award the New Jersey Association for Lifelong Learning Teacher of the Year award to Susan Christus from Literacy Volunteers, Somerset County.
Thank you so much, and thank you very much, Connie, and thank you to the awards committee. It is a very great honor to be named Teacher of the Year by the New Jersey Association of Lifelong Learning. I'd also like to thank Literacy Volunteers of Somerset County's Executive Director, Amy Lamb, and Program Manager, Susan Engelstein. Their hard work, creativity, and dedication make possible the tutoring, conversation groups, citizenship classes, and beginner programs that have helped so many adult ESL students in our communities. I would like to applaud NJALL and especially Eric Jacobson on the fantastic job you've done transforming an in-person conference to a completely online mini conference with interesting, easy to access webinars that educators could participate in without charge. Just amazing in a matter of weeks. And I really want to read all those beautiful stories and poetry that that these students have submitted. The committee asked me to tell about how I've adapted my teaching during this lockdown period. I teach 2 classes for literacy volunteers, the beginning level Bound Brook class and a conversation group for intermediate ESL students in Hillsborough. The intermediate class has been running for 6 weeks online, but the beginner class is temporarily on hold. This community has complicated lives in the best of times, and during the pandemic, their situations are even more difficult. At first, I wondered if any of my students would want to continue meeting, even if virtually, and I really wasn't sure that I could run a class from home. Before the pandemic, I had never even heard of Zoom. However, I knew that I missed my own regular activities, and I thought maybe my students felt the same. On April 6th, Susan Engelstein at Literacy Volunteers hosted a virtual meeting for all of the conversation group leaders. I think there are 13 normally that run. That gave me the confidence to try to continue with my conversation group. This group is a free drop-in class for intermediate students, which meets weekly at the Hillsborough Library. Typically, I have 8 to 10 students from all over the world. Although it's a drop-in class, most of the regulars come every week to learn English and make new friends. I had reliable email addresses for my conversation group students, and when I reached out to them, many were interested in continuing. Starting the class took several emails and texts to find a good time and let them know the procedure. We've had 6 classes now, and students seem to be enjoying it. Attendance is about what it was at the library. I've had only 1 new student, but she stopped attending after she had technical difficulties. Students use their computers or their cell phones. In the first few weeks, 3 of the other conversation group leaders observed our online group to see what it was like. Several of the other conversation groups have also continued. I use Zoom and make use of the whiteboard feature to teach vocabulary and show documents. The breakout room feature allows students to discuss topics in smaller groups. There was only 1 week when the Wi-Fi gave me really big problems. I learned that you just have to persevere. The beginning class, on the other hand, is a different story. When all the libraries closed and lockdown began, we had only one session with the beginner group in Bound Brook for the spring. This class typically takes about 3 sessions to get a stable roster of students, because some students sign up and then find they can't attend, and then others from the waiting list become part of the class. Many of them don't have reliable contact information. Literacy Volunteers has, however, been reaching out to this community with information about resources to help them through this difficult time. Amy Lamb and I have spoken about when and how we might continue with the beginners program. In the near future, the office will contact these students to see if they're still interested and if they're able to attend a virtual beginners class, because right now it's got to be virtual. So that's my story so far of teaching during lockdown. It's a work in progress. As a volunteer, I hope to keep doing what I can for my students, and I look forward to working with the beginning students and their tutors as time goes on. I want to thank you again, NJALL, for the great honor of being your Teacher of the Year. Stay safe and be well, everybody.
Thank you so much for sharing. So teaching's always a work in progress, right?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So,
And when you add the layer of technology that when you're not familiar with it, it just becomes quite an adventure.
yeah. So I hope maybe, you know, sometime down the road we can get you to do a webinar about what you've learned and kind of have a
Okay.
discussion around that transition.
You know, I really think that a lot of the other teachers in the audience right now are doing a whole lot more. When I see what my friends who are still, I'm a retired teacher, when I see what my friends in public school are doing now, I mean, it's amazing. It's just amazing how flexible and creative these teachers are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think when it comes to technology, sometimes people get captivated by the bells and whistles, right?
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
heart, it's still about the lesson, right? And so good teachers really focus on the lesson, and good teachers focus on the connection to the students.
Yeah, Eric, I think that's the real thing, is your connection to students. And I think possibly if our beginner students, if we had already been halfway through the 10 class session, that we might have, I don't know, might have been able to contact some of them at least. But, you know, where we didn't really know them yet, it's all about connection and relationship with students, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, thanks for modeling that, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Our second award has been the Lifelong Learning Leadership Award ever since I came to New Jersey in 1990. And long before that, NJALL has been giving this award. We just this year renamed the award in honor of Barry Semple. Barry has been a lifelong learning leader in adult education in New Jersey, was the director of adult ed for the State Department of Education, and has continued as a consultant and as a leader. And so we've renamed the award in Barry's honor. And this year, our winner is Miriam Merced. And she is the Director of Community Health Promotions at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. And isn't it funny what you can get choked up about? But I love the fact that people are willing to reach out to others in ways that make such a difference in their lives. And I'm going to let Judy Petson-Faraday, who was the principal of the New Brunswick Adult School and Adult Education Program in 1990, when Miriam approached her. I'm going to let Judy share exactly how that happened and why she has nominated Miriam for this award today. So can you let Judy on,
Yep.
Eric?
Yeah, she's unmuted.
I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, it was in the early 90s. And Mariam reached out to me and thought it would be a great idea to offer health fair for us students at the center. Her vision included bringing volunteer physicians and other medical personnel that were going to provide free health screenings for our students, like things like blood pressure, diabetes, breast cancer, cervical cancer, HIV, AIDS, and dental screening. So our initial reaction to this was very cautious when considering all the possible logistical issues and ramifications. Mariam, however, had such a clear and passionate vision that she gave us gentle reassurance, stating, I'll never forget this line, "Don't worry, Judy, we know how to do third world medicine." So after a thorough discussion of all of our concerns, we nervously agreed to be partners. So Connie, you want to tell the rest?
Well, it turns out that currently this health fair is continuing. Currently, there are 40 partners who collaborate to bring services to the center, including providing flu shots, cholesterol and glucose screening, blood pressure screening, dental, dermatology, HIV, AIDS testing, audiology, and on and on and on. And what happens is that people then get referrals for services when serious needs are found. They even have an opportunity to learn critical stress relieving relaxation techniques. That's something that a lot of us could benefit from right now. And students who participate are provided a passport to a healthy life, which they bring with them to each of the health screening locations to have signed by the medical personnel after the consultation. So Mariam didn't just do something once and say, well, that was a good idea, but she has continued through the years. And as a result, we just want to say thank you, Mariam, for your dedication to underserved people who need the health care that you and your colleagues can provide. So is there anything you'd like to say, Mariam?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your words. And this has been, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
This has been a labor of love. I think that this partnership that has been constructed for so long has been crucial for us as the outreach office for Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, because at the Adult Learning Center, you will find that vulnerable community that we are all interested in working with. And it's important that we continue to reach out and partner together, especially now more than ever, because the pandemic has compounded the many health issues of people of color, and we need to be united in this way so we can continue to outreach and give life-saving information and resources to these communities, especially the immigrant community that have so many barriers to health because of cultural differences and languages and also lack of health insurance. The Adult Learning Center has been a lifesaver for many of them, that they can complete their careers, but also make sure that they're taking care of their health. I also want to thank Judy for recommending me. You know, I come from a long line of educators in my family. My aunt was the principal of my school. Her husband, my uncle, was the superintendent of schools in the town that I lived in, Puerto Rico. My mom was the history high school teacher. And my other uncle was my Sunday school teacher. So this is very special to me. Education has always been a very important part of who am I and what I want for my kids and the community that I serve. So gracias, les agradezco mucho.
Oh,
Judy or Connie, any last words?
I follow Mariam on Facebook, and everything she did for the Adult Learning Center was just incredible. But I see everything she is doing during this pandemic for the community as well. She is like a saint to some of us. So we're really, thank you, NJALL, for also selecting Mariam, such a deserving person. Muchas gracias, amiga.
Yes, yes. I think my staff is also on the call, so I want to thank them also for following this crazy boss that they have in putting together all these resources for the community.
All right, thank you. Before we move on to scholarships, I did want to point out that the Barry Semple, who the ward has been renamed after, is in attendance. Barry, you're not going to be able to see it necessarily, but I would like everybody who's on the call to put your virtual hands up to give Barry a virtual high five for all the work that he did and has done in the state of New Jersey for decades. So Barry, all the hands are going up. So thank you, Barry, so much for your dedication and your commitment.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, the board, and congratulations, Miriam. What a great effort that was in New Brunswick. I'm very impressed. And I thank you, and I accept that with the greatest humility, because I, more than most people, know how much each of you board members do in this field over many years. So I accept this with a great deal of humility, and humanity. Humility. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Barry. Stay safe. Okay, and then last but not least, Judy, do you want to say anything about the scholarship program?
I do. Yes, hi, everyone. I'm Judy Faraday, and I'm a member of the NJALL board, but I'm also chair of NJALL Scholarship Committee. I'm sure some of you already know a lot about the program, but I wonder how many of you have considered encouraging one of your students or graduates to apply for the scholarship. We count on our adult educators because you are the ones who know about the program, see the potential in your students or graduates, who you believe would thrive in higher education. And you know them well enough to encourage them to take that step. Sadly, this year, we had to give the scholarship application process a leave of absence due to the pandemic. We knew that it would be hard for adult students to consider applying during these times without the contact and encouragement of our adult educators. But we plan to be back next year and hope you're going to keep an eye out for the announcements of the 2021 application, and that you'll be able to join us on June 18th, 2021 at the Scholarship Awards ceremony and breakfast we hold at Mercer County College. It's not too soon to start thinking about identifying someone who would be a good candidate. Also, you may have a student or graduate who would really benefit from $6,000 for their higher education expenses. The scholarship winners can receive up to $750 per semester if they're attending full-time, but we prorate it for part-time since many of our adults are only able to attend part-time. There's also a bonus that we've added of $500 when they complete their associates, or $1,000 after a four-year degree. Our committee also stays in touch with each winner to provide support, referrals to resources as needed throughout their higher education. Many don't have family to give them that kind of support. We're now in contact with 7 scholarship winners. Some have been taking classes remotely during the pandemic. On your screen, you see a picture of a nurse on the right, and She is one of our recent winners, Pasang Shrek, who began as an ESL student. She earned her high school equivalency diploma at Brookdale, enrolled in college, was encouraged to apply for the scholarship by her teacher, and completed her bachelor's degree in nursing at Georgian Court University last May. She is currently working in a hospital COVID unit in New Jersey. So we want to give a shout out to her. We're so proud and thankful for Pasang and proud of all of our winners. Last of all, you can help us continue this important tradition that's granted scholarships since 1992, about the time Mariam started the health fair. The scholarship program is totally supported by individual contributions. All tax-deductible donations are dedicated to the support of scholarship winners. So if you'd like to contribute, there are two ways to do so, either sending a check by mail or contributing by PayPal, and all the details for that are on the NJALL.org website. That's capital NJALL.org website. So hoping that you all stay safe and healthy and are able to continue the important work of helping our students acquire the tools that they need to thrive in the future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
So that brings our program today to a wrap. Sorry for the technical, some of the technical glitches that we've had, but it was great to be able to hear the voices of the Learner Writer winners and the 2 annual award winners, and to be able to hear from each one of you. So thanks, everybody. Connie, any last words?
No, I just want to thank everyone for coming. I congratulate all the winners. And Eric, thank you so much for putting this together for us. It's been great.
No problem. Glitches aside. All right. Stay safe, everybody.